You lead the way, my friend.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I meant to talk to you about. We good?
I don't know.
Live?
Did you
Live?
press live?
Yep,
Oh,
you're
did you press live?
We're
live. Yeah, I guess
Here
we are good to go.
Here we go.
All right, man. Luke, how's it going?
Good, buddy. Yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. All right, we're gonna get right into it. Today we're talking about what it means to live a good life, and I think it's a pretty good topic. It's an interesting topic because I think if you have 8 million or 8 billion people, you're gonna get like 8 billion answers. But
Yeah.
maybe we could try to narrow down at least what it means for us. And I'll start off by just asking you, what are the things that make for a good life for you?
Yeah. The number one question that everybody's trying to figure out, right? It's of course it's. I think we can say it's pretty subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's, and I think.
But maybe there's a way. Maybe there's a thing. If we talk about today, there might be some underlying principles.
Yeah,
we
of
can
course
kinda
there. Of
tease
course
out.
there is, and I guess it's such a loaded question. I think it's like, I always like this
Yeah.
question is always on my mind
Yeah.
all the time because I think our wild, monkey brains, like when we're going back and forth, we're trying to tell each other what the perfect life is, right?
Right.
But what I always chalk it down to is when you can have perfect peace in mind. And I know that
Okay.
sounds a little woo-woo-y, but
Yeah,
there's so much around that. I think,
What do you mean by that? Peace of mind.
so that comes with a lot of different structural things that you need to be able to have that, right?
Okay.
So to have peace in mind is when you're able to be like, at peace with where you're at in life. That's the most important thing, where you're not stuck in this rat race of wanting more
Okay.
money, more status, where you are perfectly content. Now, everybody's content can be different, but I think
And like at what level of? It almost seems as if you're talking about material goods here, at least for this part of it, right? Like,
maybe that's part of it, right?
Okay.
But I think the point I'm trying to get to is that for some people to be content, they need $10 million. Some people only need a certain amount of wealth.
Yeah, I
You know what I
see.
mean? If we're talking about the wealth game, right? So I feel like when you can finally check out of the game, the money game, the status game, the I need to be more game,
okay.
that's when I think you have I think that's when you have the greatest life. Now, what people need to get there, I find that is that's where things start to differ.
Right. That's
So-
going to be different from person to person.
yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's a certain amount of wealth somebody needs to be comfortable, to have their needs met, for them to be able to enjoy experiences, for them to be able to take care of their loved ones.
Yeah.
I think that number differs for everybody.
Well, even just thinking about experiences, some people, they love going to these exotic trips or what have you, which costs, they could cost thousands of dollars, where other people are just happy driving down to the beach, and just spending the night laying in the sun,
One of the best quotes. Well, I mean, it's kind of funny. One of the best quotes I've ever heard is that when people go on vacation, the best thing, like a lot of them figure out that they could probably done the same thing at home
Like
for
at
less
home.
of the money.
Right.
Like it's more like me and my wife always said this, like vacation is when people are kind of escaping their rat race life. You know what I mean? Oh, I just need a vacation. I need to go somewhere. I need to go spend, $5,000 for me
Yeah.
and my husband or me and my wife
Yeah.
to go on vacation so I can get away from this life. But another point would be
It's interesting. It's like, why do you have to pay money to get out of your life? Why can't you structure your life in a way that it's not something that you need to get out of?
So yeah, me and my wife have been talking about this a lot. It's like people are like spending all this money to escape to these places because they think that getting to these places and having these experiences, which I'm not downplaying, is going to make everything better. Maybe it's. I find I have a double. I'm kind of on both sides of travel.
Yeah.
'Cause personally, we're experimenting with travel right now because we feel like we want to find, and in my perfect life, I want to be able to escape winters.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, winter's cool. You can
Sure.
you can go skiing, and you have to live through the seasons. I get that, but it's just too fucking long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
too long. Everybody can handle winter until like Christmas because it's kind of fun. The vibes in the air.
Yeah. As soon as like
it's-
January 2nd, it's like, all right, let's get
January
going.
2nd. I'm like, by February,
Yeah.
I'm full on
Yeah.
depressed mode. You know what I mean?
But even going back to what you're saying about vacation, Andrew, you and I, we talk about this quite often as well too. I think there's different things of what you're saying. You're saying some people get away from, they need to have a vacation because they're trying to get away from the grind of the day to day because they don't feel satisfied in their life, or they're just like, I need to get away because I'm just too stressed. I need to like unwind, versus like what you're saying about, I just want to get away because I just want to experience new cultures and just try new places.
Yeah.
It's not because I hate where I am at. It's just because I want to go places. And Andrew, I know for you and I, like when we talk about things and we're planning a trip somewhere, I'm like, I don't even want to sleep out of my bed. It's like almost stalls before we even get to the point of going other places.
Well, when we just talk about like creating a life that you don't have to escape from, other than to have experiences and that sort of thing. Like, yeah, not to retire from your life, but like that's just your life is, yeah, good experiences and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Nice
that.
bed.
Yeah, that's just it. Like, I mean, a lot of people, you know, like I said, the point I was trying to make when trying to, you know, get away from the hustle and bustle, it's, you know, it makes a lot of sense. It's a lot of money. You know what I mean? For me, I'm the same way as you. It's like, why would I, so me and my wife are kind of going back and forth with this. It's like, you know, this summer there's like a lot of concerts going on in other parts of the world, and I'm like, I don't need to travel all over the world to go see a concert. Like, there's a lot going on here that we can embrace it, and it's cost efficient, and we can like sleep in my own bed. Like, I don't want to go spend a bunch of money to go sleep in somebody else's, other hotel or an Airbnb's. Like I'm going from my beautiful comfort zone into an uncomfortable zone,
right?
Traveling to do it and paying a lot of money to do it.
It's getting expensive nowadays too.
You know what I mean? And I feel like this whole travel idea gets really blown up on social media, like, you know, travel porn, you know what I mean? Whether there's, you know, all these pictures of Bali and all, you know what I mean? Funny story, I'll tell you, you know, we were on vacation last year with some friends. We went to Mexico, and this particular couple, they had a horrible experience. They lost their luggage. Their room had cockroaches. You know, they had a horrible flight on the way back. They were kind of not getting along during the vacation.
Like the couple?
Yeah, because of what was going on, right? They just kind of like ran into so many roadblocks, right? But when we got back home and on their Facebook, they put on they posted one picture, best vacation ever, and I'm like, no fucking way that was the best vacation ever. I was like, you're lying. Like, and I was like, you guys are no. I said to my wife, I said, that's proof right there that, you know, like social media is a place for performance.
It goes back to what we were saying last week. Yeah, social media. It's just people will, what is it? Not manicure, pedicure. What is it when you just
Curate.
Thank you, that's the word. They'll curate their profile to highlight the 1% of their life or what have you, to just showcase to the world, saying like, this is how great my life is or whatever. Even here, even the kids, we joke around, you know, like, oh, hashtag woke up this way. You know, it's like full on makeup and everything's all laid out nice and the coffee's done with the hearts in it. It's like, you didn't wake up that way, you know? So yeah, it's I think that's one of the, problems with social media is that it portrays a life that doesn't even exist.
Well, on to that point, like, you know, when you're trying to figure out what the best life is, it's hard to think for yourself because of the social media influence.
You're like, I just want that.
You're like, well, maybe I want to go to Italy, or maybe I want to go to this place or that place that I see everybody talking about, right? And, you know, you don't like, for you to be able to to say to yourself, I don't like travel, and so I'm content being home. Like, I love, you know, putting all my extra travel money into perfecting my environment,
whatever it is,
which I think that is the best way to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we spent $25,000 on traveling last year because we're in an exploration phase in our life, because we want to explore. You know, we're not traveling to escape from anything, but we are interested in finding a winter destination. So I kind of have to. It's almost like research. It's exciting and fun.
But you've afforded yourself the luxury of being able to afford that as well, too, right? So
true, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to spend $25,000
on something you don't want.
Well, I mean, you could look at it like it. And then I'm not going to spend $25,000 a year to travel, right? This is a moment in time where we're exploring, so it's a little bit more. But I mean, you know, you cut that budget in half. That's like, you know, money that, imagine how much you can just do locally with that kind of money.
Oh, that's,
you know what I mean?
Even
like for like enjoying your money, right? And that's kind of coming back to it, like kind of figuring out I think coming back to like what makes a good life is a life that you can truly own without having outside influences ruin your peace. Like when I get back to this point of peace in mind, it's like if you just like being home with your family, watching TV, going out to a dinner every now and then, a good concert, you know what I mean? You have some friends you get with like once or twice a week. And it's very simple, but you like to, you go out, you go see a sports event, maybe you go on a trip somewhere, very simple. But you were content with that. You don't have the urge like, oh, I'm not into this place, or I'm not, and you're at peace with it. Then that's to me is the best life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's say you're in this situation where, again, most people in the world, I think, don't have the luxury of being able to go wherever they want to, whenever they want, or afford most of the luxury things. Like people like just say living paycheck to paycheck, what have you, trying to figure out, they're working at a job that they hate, whatever. What about those people? Like, is there a way for people to find like some kind of good in their life, or to structure their life in a way where they are going to find a sense of peace, even though they might not be doing what it is that they want to be doing?
Yeah, I think
Like,
a lot.
possible?
I think what you're describing is a huge percentage of the population.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't ever get to that place. You know what I mean? I think I can't speak out of turn. I think that a lot of them, I think they just get into like a comfort zone where they've been in a job for so long, and they're in a routine that maybe some of them are content with just being able to go paycheck to paycheck, and they have enough money just to, do what they need to do, and they don't yearn for more. I don't see it, but I mean, imagine somebody could probably come up and say, listen, I only make this much money. I'm happy as a pig in shit because I just don't care. I don't want much more than what I have. I don't want to work more.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to afford enough just to have my little peace.
Just to have
and then if he finds peace in there, then that's great. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would disagree that that's not enough. It wouldn't be enough for me. You know what I mean? But I think there's a lot of people that have a whole lot more than me and you do, that can't find peace in their mind because they're caught in the money status game. You know what I mean? Like I'm always worried about if I was ever, not worried about it, obviously it'd be a horrible word to say, but if I was ever awarded a large amount of money, a large amount of wealth that
like 10 million, 50 million?
Let's call it 10.
Okay.
Right? Let's just say 10. I find 10's like that number where you are extremely wealthy, but you're not extremely rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
depending on what you're saying, but
you know what I mean?
it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but I feel like you're getting into that, that point of money where things just, I mean, first of all, for you to get to that level of wealth, it would take a lot of, it would take a lot of work or risk, right, to get there. And I wonder what the psychology of somebody would be like if they're sitting on that much wealth.
In terms of whether they would find happiness or purpose in their life, or whether for that they would
would they, like, would it be enough? Like, would they be able to say, I am content. I'm going to go live my life in peace, and I'm not going to try to turn this 10 into 20.
I think it goes back to what you were saying at the start, is that it has to go back to, can you find peace in your life with who you are and the things that you enjoy? And can you find enough with what you have, regardless of whether it's 10 million or 1 million? So I think it goes to that mindset of that person and what they think about things. Because if I have $10 million, I'm pretty sure I know that I'm not going to want for nothing. And I'm going to be able to do anything I can to my heart's content. But I could definitely see instances where somebody will have 10 million and be like, they'll feel miserable because they don't have the $50 million yacht, or they can't afford to get a chopper or whatever, or their friends are going off on these crazy, $1 million vacations. I don't know. I don't even know what these people do with their money. But if some people will be miserable with that because they don't have what they think that they need, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it's such an important point, because I just feel like when you say what a great life is, it isn't. I don't think it's an amount of wealth. Like you say, oh, a good life is somebody that has $1 million, or somebody that has 500K or 100K or 50K. Or, I mean, somebody that even people have 10,000 in savings. That's still a high percentage of the population.
Yeah.
Because like I know a low population is like, you know, paycheck to paycheck and don't even have any money to save.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, isn't it something upwards of 40 or 50% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck?
I mean,
I don't know what.
Yeah,
I really have no idea.
It's a high percentage.
It's a high percentage.
It's a high percentage. I know that like my brokerage that you know I'm with Wealthsimple and are my combined like me and my wife's accounts combined, we're in the 0.7 of wealth.
Yeah.
Like top 0.7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is crazy.
It's just crazy, and we're not uber rich or anything like that. You know
top
what I mean?
0.7. That's 1 out of 1,000 kind of thing, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, like that's you know what I mean. So it's like
in a pool of 1,000 people.
So like there's 99 other percent of like you know it's tough out there, right? Like it's tough to get that big break. Like most people that reach the big wealth status, they've built and sold a company, or they made a really good investments, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, most like standalone companies don't just get built into like multi-million-dollar companies.
Most of them. I mean, our Canadian economy, I think it's 75% small businesses, small to maybe mid-sized businesses.
And at best, they're just creating themselves a salary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Rolando,
how's it going? Greetings. Have an excellent day. How are you doing today? Hope everything is going well.
I just looked up. It says between 47 and 56% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck.
47 to 56 of Canadians are living paycheck
half
to
the
paycheck.
population.
Yeah,
I believe it. And you know
that's a lot, because if anything happens, like
then it says 81% of Canadians are concerned their income is not keeping pace with inflation. So
that's low. Only 81%. Maybe the other 20 are kids that don't have a job and don't worry about that stuff. Like, is that 81% of adults?
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, a lot.
That's 80%.
Cost of living, man. It's.
But I don't want to get into politics too much here. But
no,
we keep voting for the same people. It's like nothing's changing. Oh my goodness, 80%. That's crazy. But I think I want to. What we have here on the screen, I want to talk about these in a bit. Maybe go one by one. This is kind of the framework that I've been thinking about for quite a long time, and you can tell me what you agree or disagree with this. But I've kind of figured, for me, anyways, and maybe this could be general for a lot of people, I kind of put the sense of having a good life into these kind of 5 pillars. And we already kind of touched on kind of 2 of them. Number 1, we haven't talked about this yet, but health and fitness. Like number 1, to be at the best possible life is you want to be healthy. You could live a long life, pain-free. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like that's pretty important. Some people might be as important for others, but we can get into that. Personal finances, we talked about this. If you can live a life where you're not really worried about living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have that overhanging stress, I think that is a big plus in order to be feeling that peace and everything like that. And then you got meaningful work. And I feel like this is something that gets overlooked. It's not necessarily that you have to have the perfect job or the best job or feel the best sense of like, I'm changing the world with this. But if you're just doing something on your day-to-day that you feel proud of, that you're like, you know what, I'm going to go into work today, or I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something that I just enjoy doing, or it fills me with a sense of purpose. If you can have that, I think that goes so far, even if you're only making minimum wage or whatever. But if you love what you're doing, people that work at nonprofits or people that work because, I'm saving the trees, whatever the case may be, they feel a sense of fulfillment. I think that can give you a sense of happiness and fulfillment in your life. And then it kind of goes into personal development as well, which is the 4th thing, whereas that if you're continuing to improve yourself, whether that's mentally or physically, spiritually, whatever the case may be, if you keep striving towards that could fill you with a sense of, I'm just getting better every day. And if you feel that getting better and you feel that improvement, I feel like that could lead you onto the path of like, you know what, looking back, I kind of lived a good life. I'm always growing as a person. And then finally, meaningful relationships. And I don't think you need to have like a million friends or anything like that. Like if you just had, your family and even just a couple friends that that you can call up to talk about the difficult subjects or what have you, I think that's huge. Having that social network of people that you can count on and rely on is so important. I think so many people are so lonely these days. And I mean, that's another issue we can talk about is the loneliness epidemic. I think that's going on in the world because people don't have those social interactions. And Andrew, you know about this, how we're social animals and our psychology is meant to live with other people together in communities and tribes that we can count on. So I know I kind of put all of those together. If you can nail those points, at least for me anyways, I can't see why you wouldn't be living a good life and look back in life and be like, this is amazing. Rolando says, defining a good life is simple. If you die today, you are content with what you have done and would die in peace. I think that's a really good point as well as like, would you have regrets? Do you have any no regrets with the tattoo?
Every time you say regrets, I just think of that movie.
I think that's a good point. What do you think about that, Luke? Like if you were to die tomorrow,
well, I think
would you be happy?
That's another thing that's kind of interesting. You brought that up because what I try to like, say in my head sometimes is like, if I was, on my deathbed in the future, if I was in my deathbed right now, what regrets would I have?
Yeah.
And my biggest one, and it always comes down, like he's saying, my wife, is like, why didn't I allow myself to be happier?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why am I holding off happiness till like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're like
delaying it.
We're delaying ourselves to experience true happiness, which is just, peace in the moment. Like if do whatever it is that, like, if you have the money, spend it. If you have the time, do it. If you, try to, if you can work less, really. And you know what I mean? If there's things that you really want and you can have them, you can have them. That's the difference. If there's things that you want and you can have them, but you won't allow yourself to have them because you're stuck in the status game, you're stuck in the money game. I can't, have this type of life until I have this certain amount of wealth. This is a battle for me right now. It's because I feel like I'm holding myself from true happiness because I'm getting stuck in, wanting more, or maybe I want a little bit more status in the world. It's not like it's a big battle, but it's like something that I'm working on, right? That's why this whole transition I've been in my life with, selling my house and moving into this type of investing is to open up my life to being more in the moment and trying to escape this rat race of life, because this game of having more, wanting more, it's never ending, and it's just full of empty holes.
So what is it right now then that's stopping you from enjoying life? Because you're saying if I died tomorrow, that would be a regret.
Yeah, I feel like I'm still stuck on this.
Is it just the mindset?
It's a mindset that I'm cultivating. It's more about like it's kind of like in these typical terms. Once I've reached this milestone of wealth, then we can start living like this. And that's kind of like,
so it's a fear of. Could be combined with a fear of losing your money.
It's a fear if I start living too much, that I'm going to blow too much of my wealth, and I'm going to burn through my wealth. And I think that's kind of where it comes from. It's because like I have a scarcity mindset of you know what I mean? Because for me, it's like I've come from a growth mindset where I've just always and that's a mindset that's been cultivated since I was a teenager. Right, like I'm like, I mean, I was the kid. I was working. I was always hustling. Growing. I was trying to my whole purpose was to grow my wealth. And there was always a number, which was a scorecard. So I'm having, over the last year, I have to stop looking at the scorecard and start, thinking about enjoying it and not growing it.
But what is it that is going to make you happy though? Like
happy or satisfied?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Are you asking what's the difference between being happy and satisfied? I guess maybe what he's asking for you in terms of, are you happy or satisfied with the amount of money that you have? I guess you'd be happy with it, but maybe not satisfied because you want to get more.
I'm learning to be content with it. I mean, I'm not going to be somebody says, "Oh, I'm so happy with it." It's not that easy. It's not that easy because like I'm very happy, right? But I'm a human being with a mind that plays tricks on me all the time, that I have to start working on how to, dumb that voice down and start bringing in a new voice that's allows me to put that voice aside, that allows me to enjoy my life more. It's everybody's different, right? Somebody could easily say, well, if I had your amount of wealth or this person's amount of wealth, I'd be doing this and this and this. But you don't understand. It's like, it's not like I just jumped into this wealth. You know what I mean? It's like
something's built over time.
It's built over time. And I mean, but I could say the same thing if I had somebody else's wealth that was 2 or 3x mine, I'd be like, if I had that guy's wealth, there'd be no problems.
For
you know
you,
what I
yeah.
mean? Except if I had that person's wealth, then I'd have to deal with a new set of problems. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah, it's
no, I
true.
know what
And
you're saying.
if you think it's
Yeah.
crazy, like, oh, now
No, it's not crazy.
Yeah,
'cause
it's like know,
you could say I have had more problems now than I did when I had no money. 'Cause maybe when you have no money,
more money, more
no
problems.
options.
The more money, more problems. Cliche.
Different problems, but yeah.
It's and the thing about it is that, and I do believe the more money that you have, it creates more problems because your web just starts getting a little bigger. You'll start having more assets you have to look after. People start treating you differently.
I guess the problem that I have with that is, I mean, I feel like that's saying that, like I totally get what you're saying, and I agree with you to a certain point. But if there's like some guy here that was really struggling, right? Like I can't even afford like groceries.
Yeah.
And you come be like, oh yeah, man, I got $10 million and you have no idea what kind of problems I'm facing. He's gonna be, you know what I mean? He's gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's
man?
not always,
I don't even have any food, you know? So
it's not always tit for tat. It's not, you know what I mean? I mean, there's different levels. Like, okay, if we're talking about the paycheck to paycheck type of people,
but that's again, we're talking about half the population, right?
They're dealing with the real stress and problems that, you know what I mean? They need to up the wealth game. You know what I mean? Like they need to improve on the wealth.
Well,
so let's look to this. So
the personal finances aspect of things. Yeah. No, I'm asking because you said you would like to pursue more happiness, and I'm asking if you want to be happier, more satisfied. So I guess if you have to choose, do you have to choose between them both?
See, I think happiness and satisfaction is the same. Right? Like, I mean, they're loaded words, like contentment, satisfaction, happiness. Whatever allows you to not care about the rat race, like that. And I keep saying this, like, I think we're all, but the rat race is just, I'm not doing this. You can't enjoy what you're doing because all you're thinking about is what you're not doing or what you don't have. And I call it, that's the human rat race. And you might not think that most people go through. I think a lot of people live in this world where they have a perfectly good situation. They just can't own it because they're like, well, you know, I could be, I'm over out to the park with my dog, but I'm not out on a beach in Bali. You know what I mean? And like you're on the phone and you see some people in a beach while you're supposed to be with your dog, but you're looking at, you know, these images of where everybody else is at, but you have a perfectly great situation when you're out in nature. You know what I mean? But the person that does not let that enter their mind, or they don't get affected like that, they're able to be in the moment and just say, this is, you know, and like not be, you know, tormented by, and the reason why I say it is I just think, I know a lot of people that have great situations, and it's like, you know, you try to compliment them on this. Yeah, but I could have done this a little bit more, and I could have had that. You know, they're not able to like accept, like be content with it because there's always something that they could have done better or could have got a little bit more
maybe
right.
a little hypercritical. Yeah,
hypercritical. And I think when you're able to like abolish that shit out of your mind, like, you know, like let's just say you know, obviously, first case scenario, let's look like this: health and fitness, right?
Yeah. Before we get that, if you don't mind, if I'll just jump in here and say, kind of going from what Rolando was saying about happiness and satisfaction, I kind of, for me personally, I kind of distinguish them into kind of almost two different things. Like for me right now, I know I could do a lot better for my day-to-day happiness, but for what I try to do is I try to wake up every morning and just take a few moments and be like grateful for the things that I have and work on that to say like, okay, putting myself in a frame of mind to be happy and to enjoy kind of what I have. But at the same time, I am like 0% satisfied. Well, maybe not 0%, maybe like 10% satisfied, which gives me the drive of, I need to get going. I need to build a business. I need to build a company. You know, Rolando will love this. You know, my capitalist side will come out and be like, I got to build this thing into this multi-million dollar company. Billions would be nice, but multi-million dollar company. And I'm not satisfied at all. But at the same time, I could still look at I don't know if it's the bigger picture or the smaller picture of the day to day and still be happy and content with my life where it is right now. That if I never even got any further, I could still be happy today, even though I'm not satisfied. So that's just for me in terms of the language, how I would just differentiate the two between being happy and between being
so what you're
satisfied.
trying to say is like,
Yeah, it's just
okay.
how the moment that you say that you do not enjoy what you do or live because you are worried about what you are not doing, it means that you are not satisfied. Satisfaction is the memento mori of life. So a little.
I know what memento mori is, bud.
Oh, you got to point it at the camera. No, all right.
Where's that? Anyway,
Nice.
it's right there.
It's tattooed right
Tattooed
there.
on me. I know.
Can you bring the comment up, Andrew, just so I
Yep,
can see it?
of course.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point, though. I think it maybe what he's hearing, though, is that saying, you know, if you're constantly worried about, oh, I need to make more, I need to have, you know, I might want my portfolio to be at a certain level, that, you know, if you're just worried about that, it's just maybe taking a little bit away from your enjoyment of what's going on in the day to day.
Exactly.
Which maybe I think is kind of what you're saying.
Well,
Like you're working on it, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, listen, I'm working on it like everybody else probably is trying to work on it as well. Like, I'm very happy. You know what I mean? Am I content? Yes, but I have to also work at, you know, not getting drug into the rat race. Like I keep calling it the rat race because that's what it is. It's just this game that people are always trying to play where, you know, there's never a level on enough, right? And
well, it's a never ending game.
it's a never ending game, right? And I think that
Which is good ways if you're playing the infinite game in terms of business, how you know there's always they can go up. But in the game of like satisfaction and life and being happiness,
I'm more at the level where I'm
Can't do
like
it.
everything, like I'm at the level like where everything is great. I could not ever complain. I'm very happy. I'm very content. But there's a part of me that strives for more.
Yeah.
And I have to like, and it's hard to like deal with that, you know, because sometimes it's like you just want to be like, no more for you. But it's like you still have to be able to grow in life.
I don't
you know
think
what
there's anything wrong with wanting more, though.
exactly.
I don't think there's anything wrong
But
with
to
that.
the point where,
In fact, I
but
want
when it
more.
takes you out of
I
your,
can use some more.
but when it takes you out of your peace,
Well, that's the thing.
this
Exactly.
is the balance I'm trying to talk about, is when you can have a balance of where you can be in the moment, but you are, you know, I'm sure there's billionaires out there that are not content because, you know, they whatever the case may be, and I hear about it all the time that billionaires are, not all of them, but you've heard in podcasts, there's a lot of billionaires out there that are just miserable because it's like
they're just unhappy. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So
Because there's more to life than money. That's just one small. I mean, it's not small. It's small when you have a lot. Or no, what am I trying to say? It's a small aspect, but it doesn't seem small when you don't have enough money, right? Like when you don't have enough money, then it's like it's almost everything. But then when you kind of have your basic needs met, then it's like there's way more to the puzzle of living a good life than just having more money, right?
well, that's just it, right? I mean, like you said, there's so many aspects to living a good life, but I think that.
So but what do you think of these points here? It's on screen for you guys. If you're watching
I
here,
think they are the 5 elements. You've labeled them perfectly. I can't personally, between health and personal finance, I think those two are rightfully first and second. First of all, if you don't have your health, like the wealth doesn't mean anything, like, you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, you know, you need a level of wealth to sustain health, and you need a level of wealth to be able to enjoy a level of health to enjoy your wealth.
right? Yeah, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Like they're both
it's
kinda-
like if you're a lot of people are unhealthy because they're very unwealthy.
Because
You know what I
maybe
mean?
they're
They-
working
They
hard. I
can't
gotta
afford
work.
to eat good food.
Yeah.
They have to work very poor, demanding jobs on their body that
Like,
put them
yeah.
in very precarious positions. Like my
Yeah.
dad, he worked underneath cars his whole time, and like by the time he was 65, he was rode off physically. You know what I mean? A lot of people have to work these, you know, sitting at desks all day. I mean, I just listened to a podcast the other day just talking about how detrimental it is for people that have to sit at a desk
Yeah.
for 8.
Don't make me feel bad. That's what I've been doing the whole my life. Andrew knows this because
You get up all. You're not stuck at a desk.
no,
though.
but I've had back pains for since,
And you
since I
know
finished
what it's like,
undergrad. Yeah,
right?
it's just constant, and it's like you try to fight it, and then but it's not moving enough, and it's tough when we could get into that another day, but
So,
sitting at a desk too is not even the problem of poor people. Like a lot of like the rich exec jobs.
I got
right?
a question for you.
Yeah.
So you have the choice. This is just off the wall. You have a
No,
choice.
go ahead.
You have a choice to live with back pain, back problems from now on, or you could be, or with $1 million in your pocket.
Okay.
Okay. Or you don't have back pain, but you do not have $1 million in your pocket.
Am I allowed to do the things that I can still do to make that $1 million?
Yeah.
But
to
then
say-
I'll take the pain free all day, every day.
Yeah. But how many people do you think
A lot of people wouldn't.
wouldn't? Yeah.
And I think maybe that's just me, because I know that if I have my skills now, that I could build something that can
Yeah,
make money.
exactly,
Like, I'm
but-
not worried about my capacity to make money unless my body just shuts down.
How many people would just be like, wow, $1 million, I can just sit in the chair and watch Netflix and I can just have
That's
$1 million.
true.
How many people would take that deal?
Yeah, you could take $1 million and put in the bank and then live off. your
Yeah, I don't
whatever.
get to really move around very much. I don't get to go and enjoy life, but I have $1 million. How many people would take that? I would never take that deal.
Yeah. That being said, Andrew, what about you?
Oh no, I would never take that. deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Never.
100%.
Like what? But are you not allowed to make any more money after you have that $1 million though?
no.
Like if I had $1 million
Yeah,
cash
you can
right
do whatever.
now.
You can do whatever you want with that $1 million, but you will never have your back health.
Oh, so I can't even just like, oh, I'll take $1 million and spend a year just recovering.
Oh no.
Oh, God. Well,
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
That's not how the
I know,
game
this
works.
is hypothetical. Okay, so if I'm
No,
not
you
allowed-
are stuck with back pain for the rest
Oh,
of your
I'm
life.
stuck with it. Yeah.
But you can do
Oh,
whatever
hell
you
no.
want with that $1 million.
Hell no. I think that question will become a little bit more
But it's an
like if it was like
it's
50 million or 10
an
million.
interesting
It's like,
question because
I think a lot of people would take it.
I think a lot of people would too.
Rolando, would you take it? I'd love to know. Yeah. There are billionaires who are miserable and people like me who have lost everything and risen again and are happy because I have a plate of food, some health, reliable friends, and a roof over my head. Yeah, and I totally get that, Rolando, in terms of your attitude, which I always appreciate you coming on here, and especially challenging. But that, I think your mindset too is very similar to mine in that, you know what? If anything happens, if I lose money or whatever, that I can make it back, you know? And I think a lot of people don't have that mindset. Maybe it's not a belief in themselves, or they don't have the necessary education. And I don't mean formal education, but just education in terms of what it takes to like build a business or.
I don't even think it's about education. I just think it's about drive and motivation.
Well, yeah.
That's what I think.
'Cause you
it's
can
about.
learn. Well,
Perseverance and yeah.
What do you think
Yeah.
the percentage of people that value wealth over health is?
Oh, a huge percentage.
Do you think it's that? You think it's like I think that there's more people that would value wealth over health.
Oh yeah, almost most people. I think. I mean, people now don't value health.
I don't.
as is.
Think about the reason why I know that I don't is because whenever I get sick or if I got injured,
Oh, it's miserable.
and then it's that, and in my mind, it's like I would pay.
Here's this $1
it's
million.
like, it's
Go take it away.
Take it away because
Yeah, yeah.
it's not worth. There's
it's
no money in
miserable.
the world that is worth living in pain or in disease, because it's just that's the thing. I would like. It's tough because I can't because when I'm worried about money or I want to enjoy money, but I am like sick with the flu, money means nothing to
of
me.
course.
Or,
Yeah.
but that could be living with, you know what I mean? But the thing about it is that, a lot of, it's a double-edged sword because a lot of wealth ruins health too. Because, you know what I mean? Just the way, and I know that kind of sense, but a lot of like ways people like would use their money to,
Maybe like Wolf of Wall Street here doing cocaine,
I mean,
drugs, and whatever.
a lot of like I've seen a lot of wealthy people that are extremely wealthy that sabotage their lives with their money
Bill Gates. Have you seen Bill Gates? That guy looks so unhealthy. Like,
Does he really?
Yeah, he
Oh
looks
my
like I don't know
gosh.
how he's alive.
I mean, you look at like a lot of like billionaires. Like, I mean, let's just pick on some. Like Elon Musk. That dude don't look healthy.
no.
Yeah,
He's not
no.
healthy.
He
Well,
doesn't
Bill
look
Gates look
healthy at
even
all.
worse.
Like, how come that guy doesn't have a nutritionist or a trainer?
Yeah,
you
it's
know what
weird,
I mean?
man.
Like, why does he not
100%.
care? Because if he wants to run these companies, my biggest fear is like buying into a Tesla or a SpaceX that's coming up soon, and Elon Musk just dies because he just ran himself to death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Who's gonna take over the company? When you have health, you think money is everything. When you don't have it, you realize that it means nothing at the end of the day. Yeah, 100%. And I think most people, I don't know if most people aren't
that's like-
challenged or whatever.
It's kind of
but
like
yeah.
that cliche saying is that, what was it? The richest man or the healthiest man in the world just wants to be rich, but the richest, unhealthiest person in the world just wants his health.
Oh yeah.
You know what
like
I
if you're
mean?
on your health, you're on a
Like what's the point of being a billionaire if you don't have your health to enjoy it, right?
No, exactly.
So that's where, so when health and
100.
fitness,
Yeah.
like it's so important. And when it comes to like, obviously fitness is my area of expertise. And, you know, when it comes to like health and fitness, you know, without getting into the weeds, really it is just exercising in a way where you move your body in a bunch of different directions, including flexibility and strength.
Yep.
That comes with a lot of, you know, however you want to structure that, and eating real food. That's it. You do those two things, then you are 90% on top of the health curve.
Yeah. Here's where I personally made mistakes and still make mistakes. And, you know, I'm definitely not perfect, but I've always pursued for the past, Andrea, I would say
Ever?
probably the good span of the past 10 years. I've pursued, not to say pursued wealth, but pursued becoming financially independent over, like I put that over my health and wellness. And what I mean by that is, if there's days where I'm too tired or whatever, I would plow through it and work like 16-hour days, or I'll stay up till 3 a.m. finishing up this piece of coding thing, or whatever the case may be, even though I knew it was detrimental to my health. Or I know I need to get up and I know I need to go play hockey. I know I need to go move, but I'll stay like 5 hours straight sitting down, not even getting up to stretch, just working away because I need to get stuff done. So, and those, I would say that those were mistakes, because I think there's ways you can still be super ambitious and still work a lot, but even to be smarter and like get up every 30 minutes and stretch around, move around. And that even things like that I know even that you're saying, I'm like, oh, it makes perfect sense, but I don't do it. And
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Because so I'm not gonna like say what you think or anything like that,
No,
but
absolutely. Go
your
ahead.
mind. So that's the thing. You can plow through because your mind is so fixated on the success of this business,
It's
because
that
you
aspect
see
of it.
because you see that as the number one priority is being financially independent. Like to you, that's because there's nothing that can hold you back, because that motivation of being financially independent is so embedded in your mindset.
Well, it's my
which
family.
is a great thing.
And it's my family though. If it was just me, it'd be a different story.
But the caveat is that by having that mindset and that drive, you're actually decreasing your health span.
Oh, 100%.
By being that driven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which in the long term might create wealth, but it will decrease health.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, that's those two, you can't, that'll be unbalanced.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, it's, cause
Andrea knows, right? You know, because you
Yeah,
always
you
say,
have a really hard time finding balance. Yeah.
and it's, but at the same time, the like, you know, for people that are, I see it all the time. Like I was golfing with a friend of mine, and he's so funny. He's like, he wakes up at 5 o'clock and he's like, he doesn't go to work till 7. And he's like, I know I should just be getting up and I should be going to the gym and I should be stretching and I should be doing yoga and that stuff, but I can't do it. He goes, I just can't do it. I was like, why? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I know I should, I know I want to, but I just can't do it. So I just go back to bed. And I'm like, and it just like infuriates me.
Yeah.
It's like, if you just got into the habit, like
that's the hard part though, is getting into the habit.
but you know
like
what?
Atomic
Habits
and
are
whatever.
hard at the very beginning
They are.
until they become habits.
Yeah, just like
that's
brushing
the
your
thing.
teeth.
And
Just
like
do it.
like a bad habit. So that's the funny thing, right? Like I said this to you before. Like, let's just hypothetically say that you get up and do a 30-minute routine where you just do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and
Yeah.
a plank. And then you go for a 20-minute walk.
Yeah.
Right. That's 40 minutes of your day. You do that first thing in the morning before you get to anything. That's how you start your day.
Yeah.
And it would feel daunting at the beginning, but if you just decided that you're gonna do it, I swear to God, after 1 week, it would just be. Next thing you know, when you're starting to wake up, you don't think about it anymore. You just go do it, and you'll start.
I hear you.
Because you'll start feeling the rewards of it, and the rewards will start getting wired into your brain. Like, whoa, when I do this, I feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the reason why you're doing all this extra work is because you are thinking about the rewards that you're going to get, right? So, for example, you go and brush your teeth every night, probably without very little resistance.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a very hard task. but you do it because you do not want to have bad, like you don't want to have bad teeth. You don't want to have dental problems, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes, but your whole body's going to be a whole bigger picture of problems in the long run.
Listen,
right?
everything you're saying,
You know what I mean? But why not? I know.
But here's what happens. I'll wake up or something will happen where I won't go to bed as early as I want to because I'm working. And then I'll know something will come up in the morning and I'll be like, okay, well, what's more important right now? Do I have to exercise or do I have to get ready for my client that's coming in so I can make some money?
Yeah.
And then it'll get pushed off. And I know it shouldn't, or then I should wake up earlier. It's all, for me, it's again, this is like my biggest struggle. And Andrew knows this too. When I do get going, I will get going for like a long time, but then I'll get injured too. And then things
but
get
this is
derailed.
the thing is you have a hard time with moderation.
Yeah,
and
that too.
And you when you decide to do something, you David Goggins it, and it's like immediate injury. And then
not immediate, but it's pretty fast.
and then you have the setback, and then you get out of those habits.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to do something a little bit more moderate that you can maintain and be consistent with. Because at the end of the day, and I've told you this every single time, it's about consistency. Even if it's a tiny thing.
It has to be enjoyable too.
Yeah.
It has to be, because if you're doing something that you do not enjoy, like my wife hates the gym.
Yeah.
I tried to get her into it because I wanted her to adopt a strength training routine because she was just doing yoga, and it's like, listen, you gotta get some strength in there.
Let's get some muscle in those bones.
Yeah, you just you know what I mean? It's just not enough. And she tried to come, she just didn't like it, and I accepted that. And then, I tried to get her a little weight program. She just couldn't. It wasn't her vibe. And then she found Pilates.
Right.
I told you about that. And she loves it because it's a class. They love the music that you play. She likes all the girls that are involved. And she found
that's the community as well too, right?
In the community, she found her thing, right? And, it's not for everybody. But at the same time, people really need to find a way that they can build health and fitness as a non-negotiable in their mind. Just like making money, health and fitness needs to be a non-negotiable, because I think it's what I always say to people is like, if you commit to some sort of routine that will make a difference, and you just say, I'm going to do this for 3 months, see how it feels. Just owe it to yourself.
Yeah.
Say, listen, I just need to know what this feels like. I guaranteed that it's going to feel so good. You're going to know what it feels like, and then maybe you'll fall off, and then you'll come back and like, whoa, I really loved the way that felt.
Right.
Living like that. Like it's like
extra. That'll be even more like motivation. You'll know what it feels like, and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to fall off as bad as it did last time.
I think a lot of people that are unhealthy don't know what it feels like to be healthy, and that their baseline is just this unhealthy, sluggish demeanor, and they just accept it because that's how they've always been.
Yeah.
They don't realize that there's another side to it. When I was in my party phase and I got out of the party phase off and on a little bit more, and I started feeling what it was like to be out of that, and I was like, whoa, like this side, like I was always into health and fitness, but I was always kind of like jumping off the bridge every now and then and having to swim back to shore.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and after a while, like having that experience of like, listen, like, getting good consistent sleeps and having my workout routine for like 3 months straight, like how the body feels, how the mind feels, like walking around in that structure of like a clear, rested mind and a strong body. Man, that's the life. That's the life for me, because your body and your mind is your number one. It's your number one real estate. You're in it all the time. Like it should be more important than your house. Anything else that you're building, you should build your body and your mind, because that's where you live.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense too what you're saying, because you can do it both. I know I could do it both at the same time. Like I'm kidding myself if I can't find 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, whatever in the morning to get this stuff done, right? And to be disciplined enough to set a timer and get up for 2 minutes and go on the pull-up bar and do a couple pull-ups or whatever and do some squats or whatever, just to move around and get the blood flowing. Like I'm kidding myself if I can't do that. So maybe it's just, I got to figure out what's blocking me in my mind and my mindset to figure out how I can just get that stuff done.
But you're not alone, man.
Yeah. Rolando, my definition of a good life is having the ability to enjoy a cup of coffee sitting in front of a lake in the company of my wife, From time to time. Not all the time, just from time to time. That's very close, Andrea. That's why I always said for us, our dream: get a house on the lake in the morning
with my dogs.
You have your dogs and a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee, but whatever, cup of
I
hot
don't know how you're
chocolate. I
alive
don't know.
without
What,
drinking
Like
coffee.
let's curve back
Yeah,
to that. I like to say, I like to know what your guys's like ideal life structure, and I'll share mine. Like when we talk about like, listen, a certain amount of wealth, like, well, how would you like
that?
to?
Let's put it all together, like for us in terms
Like
of
yeah. So if you want on the just touching back on the health and fitness aspects
yeah.
for you personally, because you're such a motivated guy, right? From what I from everything I see,
some things
for
in my
some
life.
things, and like that's the thing. Some people can be so motivated in one direction and not be motivated in the other direction. And why is it? Like I'm not very motivated to like own a home and take care of a home. I just I'm not motivated into that. I'm not motivated when it comes to like trying to figure out how to take care of my car. Like there's just some things that my mind
You just could care less about.
Yeah, and that's how we're all wired. Like I'm very wired for health and fitness and I think it's because I have a fear of being sick, and I have a fear of chronic pain, because I've seen it. I've seen what happens to people that don't take care of themselves, and I know what it feels like to be sick, and I can just imagine what if I can control the aging curve by having like that. That's just what keeps me motivated. Plus, for me and Andrea, you work out obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's the feeling that you have after you put in a good workout.
Oh, it's the greatest feeling.
There's nothing like for me.
Oh, the runner's high. There's like no comparison.
It's like, I mean, everybody says it, but like when I'm like anxious or I'm like sluggish and like I'm like I just gotta, like most people are like, well, I'm gonna go have a drink, or I'm gonna go smoke some weed, or I'm gonna go maybe the easiest thing to do is the quick fix, right? Whatever the substance is, or maybe it doesn't have to be a particular substance. Maybe it could be whatever it is, but those things last very minuscule amounts of time, but they always come back with a greater pain. You know what I mean? Going to do exercise, you put in the work for long lasting improvements. And like every time, like I mean, even when I'm underslept, I'm like, I just got to go and pump out a workout, and I leave like you can't believe how energized, like the thoughts are pure, the endorphins are running, like you know what I mean. Yesterday I was very anxious yesterday, and I went out for a skate. You know what I mean? And I skated it away. I walked out of there. The anxiety was gone, and it's
fantastic.
It's a really good.
How was the skate yesterday? Was it good?
Well, hockey, bud. Hey. We won't go too deep in that. Off camera, I'll tell you about it. But I mean,
but even still, it's still.
But yeah, but it's
still good.
It's literally exercise is a drug that can be abused.
Do you listen to Dr. Peter Attia at all? The Drive.
I read his book, and I listened to a little bit of him.
Yeah, well, that's what he says. Like, if exercise could be put in a pill, like it'd be the world's best antidepressant, anti-everything.
Yeah, like I start my morning every morning with with a walk, and I do a yoga mobility routine.
Yeah,
kind of like I kind of add things out, and then I go ride my little. I ride, and then after I'm all stretched out, I'll go ride my Aerodyne bike, which is one of those, sprinting bikes.
Yeah.
So I'll go ride. That's I do it every morning. Takes about an hour, and then I get to sit down and enjoy my coffee, because I've earned the coffee. I just feel great. Like if I was to wake up in the morning, just go sit down with my coffee, I wouldn't be able to enjoy it.
So it's funny because I'm the exact opposite.
Oh.
I have to have my coffee. Like I don't have it like first thing. I have about 20 minutes, and then I'll have it. But I can't, because I either run like first thing every morning or lift, and I can't, like my joints are just like, I'm too old now, like they need to be oiled up a little bit before I go down.
So the coffee oils them up.
Coffee oils.
So it's a stimulant for you.
Yeah.
Totally. Everybody's, but it's the same thing, just reversed.
Yeah.
But as long as you're getting it every day.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know what I mean. I think morning routines are very important. I got into them. I know they're kind of like the trendy thing
No, I don't think it's trendy. I try to have mine as well too with my mobility routine that I do. I don't do it every morning because that's why I'm not consistent. But about 5 days out of the week, I'm doing it. So yeah, it feels fantastic. And when I was walking, I can't even walk anymore, which is one of my big things because I have these crazy pain in my feet. But that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
I can't do the things that I love, like martial arts and stuff, which I love doing. That's
Okay.
I love doing that, but I
Oh,
can't
now
even do
he's
it because my
just
feet.
showing off.
Someday I'll send you
that'd be
coffee
amazing.
from Veracruz with notes of chocolate and tobacco. Yeah,
Do it.
I'm still waiting for some tequila as well too. We got some tequila, and then I got it.
Get us some coffee, and I'll drink it here on the show. No
And then,
problem.
Yeah.
And then we'll
Yeah.
send over some maple syrup too. We'll have to do an exchange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So I think a good summary would be like for us specifically, like for you. Okay. For you, what are the things that would be wrapped around for you? Like, how does your day look, or how does things look of your kind of ideal? This is my good life.
Oh, okay. So I like for where the life that I'm trying to cultivate right now is like kind of like what he was kind of alluding to is I want to be able to start my day without stimulation. I want to be able to wake up,
And
you know,
without stimulation means
like I don't want to get into a podcast first thing in the morning. I don't want to turn on the TV. I don't want to look at my phone.
You don't need $1 million.
I
bucks
know
for that.
I don't. I just want to what?
You don't need $1 million bucks for that. You can
No,
just,
no.
you can just do
no,
that.
Well, you're asking like I want to be.
No, it's true.
Like I
That's
want to
true.
be able to wake up without an alarm clock, which is the thing that I've always talked about. Where you have a certain amount of wealth, where the night before you don't worry about waking up at any certain time the next day, so you enjoy that night before without any type of stress on your mind. You go to bed when you feel tired, which is a beautiful thing, and then you can wake up and you can just feel free to just start your day however you want. I like to start my day off with, like a nice mobility routine, a nice coffee. I like to watch sports. And then I want to spend the morning with my wife. And I want to be able just to talk about anything that we feel like talking about that doesn't bring any type of future or past into our life. I just want to talk about what's going on right now. Me and my
What are we
wife,
doing today? And
just like that type of stuff. And then any type of, and then I want to find something that I can do during the day that gives me flow. You know what I mean? That gives me, and that's what I'm trying to cultivate right now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do work that I don't enjoy, but I will anything, but it's hard to find work that I don't want to be scheduled to anything.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to have somebody own my time. I want to be able to own my own time. So it's hard to find things like structure with be able to do whenever I want.
it's
right?
tough when you're working with other people. There's got to be a balance, I would imagine, trying to figure out that, because when you're working with other people, there almost has to be a little bit of a structure and a schedule in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So,
But like, when it comes down to like the structure, like I want sunshine in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to be outside. I love nature. I love being on the golf course. I love golfing. I don't, trying to figure out like, people can say, oh, I want a ranch with, a bunch of dogs and out in the horizon. That sounds sexy.
yeah.
I don't know if that's for me. You know what I mean? I'm at a point right now where I'm exploring life, because I could say, oh man, I would love to live off the grid and have a nice ranch with all this. I don't know if that's for me.
Until you
know what I
can't
mean?
figure out how to pump your water or whatever.
Or do I want a big, beautiful condo downtown? You know what I mean? Or do I want to just live in the outskirts next to a golf course? Or am I happy where I'm at? You know what I mean? All I know is that I want is me and my wife to have the freedom not to experience every day stress in life. That's the most important thing.
Do you feel as if, so you're talking about finding flow, and I don't know if I'm hearing this right, but you could explain to me or talk to me about this. Do you feel like you're looking for a sense of something to give you purpose outside of the, hey, you know what? I'm doing really well with portfolio and stuff, but you're not doing that. You're not trading, 10 hours a day.
Oh
Like,
no, that's completely hands off.
Are
And
you looking for a sense of purpose? Are you looking for something to, like,
always?
oh, this is what I want. I want to, figure out what I can do to help me grow or to give me a sense of satisfaction. Where every day it's like, I'm glad I did that. Whatever that is.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of like, it's like I said. Right now, I'm in this phase of like curiosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying. I know that whatever happens to me in the next 10 years will not be something that I see coming. It won't be. There's nothing planned. But if I go live a life of curiosity and I start trying, I want to be able to try things, go, whatever the case may be, like
Yeah.
go, like I'm kind of interested in going and just checking out, improv.
Okay.
Yeah, I find it very interesting. Like there's like, you know what I mean, going to watch people do improv and like doing like acting and stuff like
I
that.
actually
like,
want to do that as well too.
you know what
to
I mean?
help me on videos.
Yeah, like
one of
it's
those
like
things.
it feel like I've watched a few. There's one in the city here, and I've been trying to like find time to go and watch one of their shows.
Yeah.
And they, you know, and obviously they allow people to come, you know, join us where, you know what I mean, and they just
do your thing.
From, you know, from
It's like an
the,
open
from
mic
the
kind of
vibe.
thing?
It's it's not. I don't know exactly because I haven't gone to it. It's on my list of things to experience.
Yeah, okay.
But it's like, but from what I see from it, it's like a community based thing where they just all get together and just act silly and
Yeah.
they just have fun.
Right.
And they're all different walks of life. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like our community hockey type of thing like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's like
You know,
one type of
I
guy.
like, you know what I mean? I'm kind of
hear-
like,
I hear
you
you.
know, I kind of grew up in like, you know, kind of like a jockey city boy type of, you know,
Sure,
mindset. And that's not really who I truly am. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm kind of like, I'd rather like kind of muck it up with like, you know, people who are just more genuine, who want to be silly, who don't
Yeah.
care about, you know, and those,
like
those
the-
types
like
of
the drama
world,
kids or
like,
whatever at
like
school.
the drama type of scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to go be an actor, but I'd love to be able to, you know, I love, like Saturday Night Live. I love sketch comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So stuff like that is like, so little things like that of just going out and trying to experience all these different, you know, avenues and just see what happens. Like, you know, I think I live without any plan for a purpose, but I also know that my life opens me up to be very more curious
Yeah.
to try new things. And I know that it's a lot easier to just be curious instead of like, well, I need to have a plan.
Yeah.
I have no plan, which is kind of exciting to see what will happen. But going out and just trying new things,
Yeah.
like this thing
So-
with me and you, like you
Yeah.
know what I mean. Like when me and you started talking, I was like, "There's something here," and I pushed on you, like you know, and we kind of like got together. Now look what we're
Yeah,
doing.
now we're
You know
doing
what I
this
mean?
and
Like
seeing-
I was
seeing what
curious
happens.
about this,
Yeah.
and now look at us. We're 3 or 4 shows in. Like and things like that lead to another. When I see a person or an activity that I find interesting, you know, like there's a little bit of resistance, but if you can plow through that resistance, it could lead to something that
Yeah, you never know.
that gives-
You're open to trying things and trying to figure
Yeah,
it out. So it's
exactly.
like you're kind of at that age where, like, if I was to ask you, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? You're still trying to figure it out.
I'm still
in a
growing
sense.
up. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm trying to like I said to my wife the other day, I'm trying to like teach myself how to be a kid again. You know what I mean? I don't.
That's a curiosity of what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like I don't want to like, you know, I feel like, you know, when I was so free when I was in my 20s, because I was saying this to my wife the other day, like, you know, I just, you know, I had a nice little bankroll when I was in my 20s. Like I was, you know, I was always, you know, I had a little bit of wealth, like especially for that age, but I didn't care about, you know, trying to build a company or trying to like, you know, make millions of dollars. I just cared about, you know, enjoying what was going on with all my friends. Like it was like everything was so exciting. Then this weekend was this thing, and then all of a sudden you kind of like get caught into like, oh, I'm a 35-year-old adult. I got to start building wealth and
start
all
doing
this stuff
something.
like that. Now I kind of got caught in the wealth game. Now I'm like, I want to go back to being a kid. You know what I mean? I just want to wake up and like, you know, I don't need to go party all the time, but like we can go do all kinds of fun stuff. Like, you know, just because you're getting older doesn't mean you can stop playing. You know what I mean? I hear a lot of people referencing that. Like you have to start playing more. Just because you're an adult
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
mean
we all need to play more.
you know what I mean? It doesn't
Yeah.
mean like you go out and, you know, you're playing in the sandbox or anything like that. You know what I mean? It could be anything. It's just
I think it's opening up yourself to experiences that you normally would say no to. Because I think as you're an adult, you kind of just get set in your ways.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm not going to be open to anything. But then just play. Like when you're a kid, you get something. You're just like, I'm just going to try it out. I'm going to check it out. Like
Yeah,
you don't
you're
have those inhibitions of
so free.
"Ooh, I'm not going to like that, so I'm not even going to try. You know,
yeah.
it's being open, being curious.
Yeah, whenever I push through resistance and like go do something that I'm a little you know, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be, like, you know, going out to dinner with a couple I've never met before. You know what I mean? We were kind of like, I've done that over when I was down in Panama. We went out for dinner with people that we kind of met through the internet with doing the same investing as I was, right?
Okay,
and it's
yeah.
like, you know, you're going to meet people for the first
never
time.
know.
It's a little uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right?
Well, what's the
But-
worst that can happen?
Well, that's what you say to yourself, but it's still a little like. But once we were in it, when me and my wife got home, we're like, man, like it was such
So glad I did
It was
it.
such a rush because we had
Yeah.
great conversations. We met 2 new people, and we had so much in common, and now we're in touch with one another, and
Yeah.
we're networking together and stuff like that. And it's like, but like, you know, there was part of my mind that was kind of like trying to talk me out of it a little bit. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? It's like when you push through resistance and do uncomfortable things, even if they don't lead to something that's meaningful or that, you know, leads to somewhere that produces something more, it still doesn't matter. You still have to cultivate the habit of doing uncomfortable things.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, especially if you're like me, that you're into business and you want to build a business. And it's once you find yourself in a comfort zone, then you're not pushing hard enough, because I think a lot of success comes outside of the comfort zone. Because if you're just doing the same thing you've done every day and you're comfortable with it, you're not growing. And if you're not growing as a business, usually other people are, and they're going to like overtake you. So I really like what you're saying there about just always pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. It's super important. Rolando says, my wife wouldn't really agree with you about going out and just playing. She says, I get distracted like a child by anything. Yeah, I wonder if that's, Andrea, maybe you can chime in here with the dynamics between men and women here. I know you're going to have to head out soon.
No.
But the
No,
dynamics between men and women in terms of maybe men's ability more to just go out and play and do things that are silly and just not worry about certain things. But women, you know, are you guys always just in your heads thinking about things or thinking about what could go wrong? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, because when I'm around like my nephews and niece, like I will get down in the dirt and play with them. Like that's just how I am. Like
That's
'cause
with other people, though. I think women are good at that. But what about if you're just on your own, though? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess I'm always open to new stuff, and that's just kind of. But I don't know if I'm an anomaly.
All right. You don't know about
I
your other
could be,
sisters
like,
out there?
Well, because also it's like most of the podcasts I listen to are like male podcasts, like Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, and
Fair enough.
so I don't know. I think I'm a little bit different than your average female, maybe. I don't know. I don't maybe like in terms of like risk taking though. Is that related in a way?
Well, I don't know. I just in terms of what you're thinking, in terms of whether, you know, men and women are more apt to have differences in terms of whether they like to, you know, forget about things and just go out and play it, right? Like, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to go out and
Like,
see what
maybe.
happens, as opposed to like, no, we
Yeah.
can't. Maybe it's like maybe it's about risk tolerance too, a little bit.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know because like I've had to put myself out there and we've had to go and play because the kids have been homeschooled, and it's like constantly putting myself out
Yeah,
there.
we're just so used to it.
So yeah, and the kids are too, like, because we always have to go out and make new friends and try new experiences, and there's
Yeah.
no teacher like to do those field trips. I have to be the teacher and put myself in those situations and meet the new people.
Yeah.
So it could be a function of that too.
Yeah, I think that's what you were saying. Just
Yeah,
going out
I
there,
think it's-
pushing yourself outside your
I
comfort
think it's
zone.
just really important when you like consider the word like play. It doesn't mean like, you know, you're going and throwing a ball back and forth or
Yeah.
playing in the sandbox
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. It's like it could be like just getting
Exploring.
out in the world and just doing something with somebody else and just laughing. You know what I mean? It's like just enjoying the moment, going, you know, like me and my wife like
Putting
to
your
go
phone down and enjoying the
Put your
moment.
goddamn
put your
phone in.
fucking
Our
phone down.
What Andrea says about when she's with her nephews and nieces, she enjoys playing with them. That is a good life. Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah, that's a great comment. Good job, Andrea.
Thanks.
but I mean that's the thing, and like but like this all comes back to like, you know, how I started this off is like having being peace in mind. It's like being in the moment and enjoying it, and just like being able to like just, even no matter what the moment is, like the person that could like go out and play with your nephews, just be as happy as somebody who is, you know, halfway across the world going to this big mega concert. You know what I mean? Like, does it really matter? Like, you know what I mean? You're rich. There are two different types of rich. You know what I mean? Like that could be one person's great life. I love traveling across the world. I love going to these big festivals. I love being in the energy. I love being the people. I don't. You know what I mean? There's a part of me that
Yeah.
was all about that. I experienced that. I do not like being in big crowds.
Yeah.
I do not like long travel. I do not like long lines. I do not like a bunch
Yeah.
of screaming drunk people.
That would sound like hell to me, like all the Coachella and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
that's another thing too in terms of how crazy that is. But like going on these big concerts and you seeing like 60,000 people and it's just
Well, that's
No,
you know what I
not
mean.
for me.
That's a thing that a lot of people get sucked into, like because they just have to be there, and some of those places, the most uncomfortable places in the world. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like it's like a FOMO thing when you're kind of growing up. Like you just need to be the more people, the more crazier it is. And
Yeah.
the more you have to be there. Oh my God, there's gonna be 50,000 people there, and like you're just like this little, stuck in this sardine
Yeah,
can.
now
Like,
it just seems people need to be there because they have to influence, because
But
they
if
got to
you
put
can-
their
but if-
life online. Like, look at me, I'm at this.
But if you
place
can own that and just that's like you are unapologetic, like I love it, that is my best life, then that's fine. But that's why
Yeah.
it's so subjective, right? What somebody else's great life would be, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think a little, I think understanding that no life is ever perfect, you know what I mean? But I think when you're able to, it all comes down to just owning what you have in the moment, which is very hard, right?
Yeah.
And just being able to be there wherever you're at, just be there. I think that's very woo-woo-y and very Eckhart Tolle about being in the present moment.
But you know what? I don't think it's woo woo at all. I think it's like we're the normal ones to
Yeah.
think that, and it's like this whole like
Everyone else is.
like phone. That's
Yeah,
what's
and you know what the
weird.
funny thing is? It's like you
But
can't.
that's a cope mechanism. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the thing about like everybody says you got to be more present. You got to be more present. It's not like you can't like just I think a lot of people when they start that journey of being present, they're like, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna be present. I'm like they start telling themselves, I'm present now. You know what I mean? It's just something
does
that
that
has
mean?
to like you have to be it and not know that you're being present. You just like you'll know it in hindsight. Whoa, I was present there. Like so that when I describe some of my best times, I was like, man, I was so like when me and my wife had a good conversation and I'm with her the whole time. I was like, wow, yesterday during that conversation, I was there with you the whole thing. Sometimes I'm not. You know what I mean? Like,
Andrea, I'm always listening to you, by the
Sure
way.
you are, huh?
yeah, you know what I mean. But you'll never know you're present until hindsight,
Yeah.
right? And like if you're trying to like white knuckle presence,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I got to be present today. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm here. You know what I mean?
I think
that's
that's one
not
of
how
the
it
things
works.
too, where people are saying like, when you see those images of people at concerts, right? When you're seeing the screen, but everyone's like this with their phone, like with their little phone recording the concert. It's like, I think there you can tell like you're not being present because you're just, what are you doing?
How
like
many of those
you're
people-
at the concert and you're gonna watch it back on your little phone after, be like, oh, I remember that. Like you're not even watching.
And how many of those
what's
people
happening.
actually watch what they recorded later on? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't
first
even
of all,
know why you're doing
they
it.
probably don't rewatch it, and they
Yeah.
don't see it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's
It-
just
that-
for Instagram.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Just gonna
But
post
even
on
then, it's like
Instagram.
that really bothers me. That doesn't bother me because it's like I'm not paying money for it. But it's like so many people now have their phones, and even you go see like a hockey game, and like everyone's like watching the game through their phone, and they're right there. Like, what are you doing? Open your eyes. Like there'll be recordings afterwards that are much better quality than your stupid phone.
well, I
Yes.
honestly think that the phones are some of the biggest joy stealers we have
Yeah.
right now, and it sucks because like I have to like I'm seriously starting to figure out a protocol in my life how to manage like my laptop and my phone, because it's getting so bad right now that like I look at my laptop and then there's like the go-to things on your laptop, whether
Which
it's
you open up or
I'm
whatever.
checking the market, checking my fantasy baseball team, checking my email,
Yeah.
checking things that can like take me out of my peace.
Yeah.
You know what
Or-
I mean? Like I can go look at the stock market for like 2 seconds and just look at like the headlines and where the markets are, and my mind could run away for hours.
That's
on-
because
on
it's
it.
part of your livelihood. So that makes sense though.
Yes,
But
but
unless-
but I don't need to see it.
Well, then don't check it. Then.
Well,
You're saying that's because of-
don't go work out, Odom.
Shots fired.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Fair enough. Point taken.
I wait. You know what I mean? It's something I'm working on it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
But no, I hear you. It's
no, you're right. You're right. Don't look at it. I'm saying the same thing to myself. Don't look at the laptop. But
I
it's
do
right
the same
there.
thing. It's like in the morning. It's like, don't watch the highlights or don't do this or that. It's like before you know it, an hour is gone, and you're like, yeah, you're at the places.
Exactly.
For sure. And it's a bit like we're saying about the phones too, is that I feel like now it's more of a drug for people where they're not paying attention to their lives because maybe it's so shit or whatever, but that's the only thing they have that can get them away from things. Like, oh, I'm just going to play my game because it's going to take me out of all this shit that I have. And yeah, I don't know what we can do about this, what people need to do
We
about
can't
this.
do
but
nothing
it's-
about it because the phones are the equivalent to the food system now, because You need it to survive. I'm sorry, like maybe not survive, but you know what I'm trying to say. You need the phone. The phones are an essential tool in life now. Like eventually, you're gonna need your phone for everything.
Almost, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
not, because
Well, could you maneuver without your phone right now? Like
yes,
I
I can. It'd be difficult,
It would
but let's maybe just real quick in terms about going back to good life. One of the things I always tell Andrew about is like I want to have like a nice house that's on the lake and whatever. Off grid, on grid doesn't really matter to me. I just want to have a nice property. But a big part of it too is I want to have no phones. Like this cell phone, I don't want anybody to have phones because I look at what it has brought to our life, and I can't say really one positive thing that a cell phone has brought to us, other than the fact if we're out somewhere that we need to get in touch with each other, which never works anyways, because whenever I call you, it's like, I didn't hear my phone. It's like, what's the point of having a phone when I can't call you when you're out?
Well, because this is my thing too, is when I'm with the kids, I never touch my phone.
But then,
And-
so
and-
it's like, why do we even have them?
Well,
We lived just fine before phones were invented. Like
But
cell
I think
phones.
so. But what I will say, the difference is because all of our family is in Ontario, and I talk to my mom over text and my brother over text daily. And if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be able to be in touch with them like I am and maintain a really close relationship with both of them. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how close you can get over text messages every once in a while, but
me and my brother had like the funniest conversation yesterday. We were reminiscing over like
okay,
90s
all right,
rock.
okay. So,
So-
but if my point being though is that if for our lives, if we were to take away our cell phones, we wouldn't see a diminishing quality in our life. Like you said, maybe there's other things to talk with your family, and that's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. But in the grand scheme, like for me, I hate even just having a phone.
oh, me too.
Like I don't. The only reason I have it is for business, is so people can call me and whatever. But
Yeah.
even then, I'm like, why don't I just get like a landline that's for the business? And if I'm not home or if I'm not there, they can just leave a message. Oh, bless you.
I totally agree. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out ways to stay away from it. So I got a line added to my watch, so I can get my texts and my phone calls. Okay,
You have to pay extra for that?
$10 a month.
Ah, God, they get you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean yeah.
There's the man
Yeah,
again
of
getting you.
course, but I mean, $10 a month or whatever. But I go to the gym without my phone. I can survive without my phone.
Does that have? Sorry, I'm looking at. Does that have data then?
Yeah, it's got a gig.
Okay,
not
so
a whole
your
lot, but
phone
but
doesn't even have to be in the same room. It's not like Wi-Fi. It could
exactly.
Be,
That's why I pay the $10 for.
You can pay.
Oh yeah,
okay,
so
okay,
I don't need my
I
phone
see.
at all.
I see.
You know
I
what I
see,
mean?
see.
And like I can download a little bit of music. I can download a couple podcasts.
I was just gonna say, how do you
But
go to the
that's-
gym and not listen to something? on your
Well, so I do all my morning stuff without listening to anything. But in the gym, I'd rather listen to something instead of listen to what's going on in the gym. than-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can have. But the beautiful thing about it is that I only have like 3 or 4 podcasts to choose from, and there's only like a couple songs to choose from. So I don't have like this whole decision fatigue of
Like in terms of what you downloaded.
that's a big
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like when you only have 3 podcasts to choose from, you don't have a whole
or just one.
a list. You know what I mean? Okay, you can focus in on that one podcast because that's all there is.
Yeah.
You know, when you're like, oh, I don't like this one, you go to the next one, or like you're on YouTube, you're like, you know, you're.
Oh, you scroll endlessly and never end up watching anything.
That's the stuff that is tearing my mind apart.
Oh yeah.
The scrolling, and then the algorithm starts picking up on it. And
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean? Because like I'm in, you know, finance and health and wealth, and they're the most 2 tribal industries in the world where everybody's trying to pitch you the doom and gloom of both sides,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? My way's right, or this stock is going to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Get out now.
Get
It's-
out of the market now, or get into the market,
Yeah.
or you're not exercising right, or you're not eating right. You know what I mean? So that's that type of stuff there, and it messes your mind up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really does. And you know, to have a great life, you need to so me and my wife are going on a digital detox in 2 weeks. We're going down to a cabin in Truro. No phones, no laptops, no TV. And
Okay, I'm going to be interested to hear how
yeah,
that goes.
I'm
We'll have to talk
already
about that.
Jones. I'm excited, but
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I going to check my fantasy baseball team?
can't-
You
you
know,
can't.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That'll be interesting because you're forcing yourself to do it.
We need it.
But
Like,
you're gonna feel. I feel.
For how
ooh.
long? How long?
2 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could do 2 days. It'd be
Oh,
tough.
see, look at you. It's a
Can I
detox.
read?
Is you're
Can
like.
can I read? Is the
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
okay,
for
okay.
sure. But so that there's a TV with DVDs.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. So you gotta like look through a DVD, like which is gonna be some old DVD, and that's it. It's the only way.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny about this, and I think we were talking about this before, is that, you know, I guess when you're kids, you kind of sometimes make fun of the Amish or whatever because they have. Why are you laughing? But no, just
You said
no, because like, oh, they're riding around in a horse and buggy. It's like, at what point do they decide at what level of technology is okay for them, you know, based on their religion? And now I feel like it's kind of like the same way. It's like, you know what? If we could just go back to like what things were like in the 90s, like just that level of technology, that's okay now. Because you're talking about, it's like, oh, I need to detox. To what point? Oh, well, there's a TV still. Oh, there's a DVD player. That's okay. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of interesting how the more we get into the future, it's almost like the more we kind of wish for the simpler times back in the day. I just find that dynamic pretty fascinating.
The problem I have with like the phones and the so like there's a time where I could go like look at my phone for I'm like just looking at it, I'm trying to go do something, but first thing I see is some notification, and then the notification I zoom right into it. Next thing you know, I'm going down a spiral, and I totally forgot what I picked my phone up for in the first place.
Yeah.
And then I can't even remember because I just went down this spiral because of that notification. And I got most of my notifications taken off.
Yeah.
Obviously, but there's a few of them, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and next thing you know, I just like like my mind just went into it. So the way I view, like the mind and your thoughts, if you run those like it's unhealthy to let those things run around like uncontrolled. Do you ever like just like go through like a scrolling session and then you lift your head up and then you have this tension in your head of like being on that phone scrolling or looking at something or just like kind of like trying to decide on what you're doing it's like
I've never had that with a phone, but I think maybe, you know, like when we used to have Netflix, it's like trying to figure out what to watch.
when
and
you're same
all of a
idea,
sudden
same
you're
concept.
just 20 minutes and you're not even watching anything.
It drives me
What the
crazy.
hell?
Like you're just going through all the different categories, all the different shows, and you can't decide on one. But back in the day, I grew up with 2 channels.
Yeah, the
You know
three
what I mean? I
channels,
just
the
watched
three
whatever was
stations.
on TV
Yeah.
and I watched it.
Yeah, and that's
you know what I
it.
mean? Like I remember I'll put something on and I'm like, I think that thing I seen 5 scrolls ago was a little bit better. And next thing you
Yeah.
know, you spent 2 hours of
Yeah.
like not even getting anywhere.
Well, but the phones, because when they first came out, they were just pretty much designed to just do what they do. Like, oh, here's a call, you got a notification, and then very quickly, then the apps and everything comes out, and then it's all algorithmic based. How can we get them to spend the amount of time? And then it's highly designed to get you to pick it up and not just do what you were supposed to do, but to just get caught up in the phone. Because at the end of the day, just like pretty much every app, the product itself is not the app. We're the actual products because they're just collecting our data and information and selling that off, whether it's advertisers or whatever. So that's why it's such a drain, is because we're the ones that we're being, like, companies are extracting our value in order to sell that to other people. But if it was the other way around, where you just pay for the phone and you would just get the service, it would be a completely different experience, because then we're not the actual product. So it's a whole different philosophy on how things are designed.
The thing about it is that you have to learn, everybody has to learn how to like how you, so the reason why I said it's similar to the food system is because the food is essential. You need food. You don't need food the way you need the phone, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
I think so.
Like a phone is pretty much it's a tool that most people are going to have. No
it's
matter
going to
what.
be, especially if we do like
food,
a digital
I
ID
mean,
kind of
most
stuff.
people, I mean, everybody has to eat food, right?
Yeah.
So the thing about it is that you have to decide with this abundance of influence around food.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And then the phone,
You can have the good calories, the bad calories.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the food system is the biggest drug out there, right? I've said this before, like, you know, food is so engineered to, you know, profit big, you know, big corporate conglomerates, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like
exactly like the phone.
like the phones and everything inside the phone, like the algorithms, like it's to get you. Like same thing with the food. The food is designed, and they don't care about what's in it. And then the same thing with the phones. They don't care what they put in there, as long as they get your attention. They're fighting for your attention. The other ones, they're fighting for, you know, your taste buds, which both jeopardize your health, right?
Yep.
It's very similar, and you know, it's 2 things that we have to live with. Like the food system is going to be the food system forever, and the phones are going to be the phone. The phones are going to get worse. You know what I mean? You're going to start seeing regulations put on the phones because you're just going to see. I think you're going to see some sort of, you know, backlash.
Wasn't there something that was just passed, Andrea, in Alberta, or that they were talking
They're
about
trying to-
banning?
Yeah, they're trying to.
They're trying to ban it from the youth, right?
Yeah, they did it in Australia.
Which didn't work, I heard.
Oh, I haven't heard any follow up.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it was actually just the other day. They
Okay.
they'd done it, but kids figured out
Well,
a go around. You know, what
You
I
just
mean?
go on a VPN and you're
Yeah.
set. But I mean, at least they're trying something.
I mean, but like complaining about like all these phones and you know what I mean? It's like it's up to us to have structure.
we got to put our own.
You know, like if you're gonna eat healthy, like you know, like eating healthy is hard because
tough, yeah.
it's only 10% of the food, and the phone you should only use 10% of the phone.
Yeah,
You know,
like you can't
you-
blame McDonald's if you're eating it all the time and
Well,
getting fat.
you have to-
just like you
there-
can't blame the phones for
There
making
has
you
to
addicted.
be a
Like,
level of personal responsibility. Like
100%.
100%. Yeah.
yeah,
That's just it. And the same thing with like with food and with the phones. Like we can complain about the phones, but it's up to us. You know, I mean, I had one of those.
it's designing the good life. These all kind of circles back of what we're
I
trying to
had
do.
one of
and how to build.
those boxes, those little lock boxes that you would. You ever see them? Like they're like little kitchen.
Just like a
it's like a little like you know like a little like a container
Okay.
that has a lock on it.
Yeah.
People, it's usually meant
like
for
a
phones.
safe.
So I'm a cannabis smoker, so I would hide my cannabis in there because I didn't want
Oh, okay.
I didn't
Yeah,
want
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
want
just-
any I didn't want any cannabis till a certain time of the day, so I'd put
Right.
it in the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'd have it locked up because you know I'm a lot more better with it now, obviously, but they're meant for the phones. So like for
okay.
for people to like families to lock them up during dinner. Everybody put your phone in here. They're all locked up for 2 hours. Nobody can touch the phones.
Oh, so it's like some kind of timer.
Yeah, it's a lockbox.
Oh, so it actually.
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm
Yeah.
like, you could just have a lock and we'll just get the key.
No, it's like
just,
a,
but it
yeah,
actually,
it's on a timer. It's like
Oh,
so you
okay.
set
No, I
the
never heard of-
timer.
I've never heard
So
of
like
that.
a lot of like families that are you know care about being present with one of the when your phone's locked away and you know you can't get it.
Yeah.
There's a sense of peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I went to go see a comedy show 2 years ago, they took our phones and put them in the bags, right?
Oh yeah.
And they
I've heard that,
couldn't
yeah.
you couldn't get the bags unlocked till you left. And it was one of the biggest like epiphanies I've ever had, that how like everybody was talking to one another. Like all you could hear was conversation. Like everybody was
Man.
looking at one another. Me and my wife were like look at it. Like we're sitting
are-
instead of just sitting there waiting for them to come on. Everybody was chatting with one another.
Yeah.
And it's when it's locked away because you know you can't get it. But when you know it's there and you can get at it, you're
Oh, people are so addicted. They just have to check.
there's a
I don't know what they're
gravitational
doing.
pull always towards it. But when you have it locked, like try it sometime. Like if you guys get it and you just lock the phones away, because that's what we're doing when we go away in the for the detox. We're locking our phones up.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to think about them. You know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you. I know for me though, like I don't have a problem with like phone. Like I don't use it.
Oh, I don't have a
Yeah,
serious
yeah.
addiction to it, but it's
But
nice to know that it cannot it's not even available.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And for me, it's the laptop. You know what I mean? It's like the stuff I go to on my laptop, like the bigger screen with like looking at charts, looking at looking at like
Yeah.
you know all kinds of stuff. Like, but emails is a big one too.
So
You know what I mean?
I think what I'm hearing then to summarize is the good life is just living like the Amish. We just need to have no technology at all whatsoever. No computers, I couldn't live without a computer, man. That's like my whole livelihood.
You know, I mean, on like, you know, like I'm the same with you. Like I can't say like, do I want the house on the lake? But I want my structure to have a beautiful place to do morning.
Place you feel at peace.
Like I want like, you know, like a place. I'd love to be able to get up and see the sun in the morning. We don't get that here. Like not maybe like a few months of the year.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that's something that I'm working on. So that's why me and my wife are working on 6 months here, 6 months
Yeah.
somewhere else. It's a work in progress.
Yeah,
but
we're like that too. But I want 4 places to
Oh.
spend 3 months.
4 places.
Hey, listen.
You're living the great life.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
one in North America, one in South America, one in Southeast Asia, and maybe another place somewhere either in Europe or like in Dubai. But I don't know if Dubai would work though.
Is that what? That's a great.
I don't know because then I can't have my dogs though. Dude.
That's a lot of traveling
fine.
around.
Yeah.
It's 3 months.
I would.
I can settle for 3.
See, I would
4
like
months at each
for
place.
me, it's like I would want to like focus on one. Like this is me personally. Focus on one area so I can build the community.
Yeah.
Like 6 months, like I'm build like gets like because I was in Panama for a month. I didn't start finding community until I was there for 3 weeks, and
I
then
see what you're
and then I started, and I was like, geez, if I was here for a long time, because it's all about community, right? If I was kind of like hopping from place to place, it would. I'm not a big hopper. I don't
Yeah.
like. I don't like
I hear
hopping
it.
around. Like
Yeah.
I like my environment. Like I would rather spend my wealth on cultivating one or two
I hear
perfect
you.
environments.
I hear you.
know
And
what
I would
mean?
definitely be happy with 2 for sure.
Like I would rather spend less money on traveling
Yeah.
and spend that money on perfecting my environment
Yeah.
that I live in. A great place to have morning coffee, morning meditation, a great place for us to, watch, get together and unwind and watch a good show, like
Yeah.
a really nice entertainment system, like maybe even like a movie theater
Oh,
vibe.
don't
you know
get-
what I
yeah,
mean?
Andrew
Like
knows.
that,
Yeah,
that,
I
a
hear
lot
you.
of value where because when you're with each other at the end of the night, like your kids, or for us, we're with our dog, and you just like elevate that experience. Like that's my
100%.
zen.
No, I love that.
That's my. I'd rather be there in that than any other type of event. Like that's my.
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like just perfecting those experiences, like my environment. Obviously, I'm into like sauna and cold plunge. You got to throw
Yeah.
that stuff in there.
Oh, yeah.
For in the morning routine, like that type of stuff. But just
And a
having
pool with an underground pool that you can swim underneath. It's got a cave,
Oh
and then
my God,
it goes
yeah,
it goes to the outside, and it's got the overlook. Yeah, I hear you.
you dream big. I love it.
For my house, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid too, I wanted to be like an architect.
Yeah.
So I dream up all these crazy things that I want to have in my house.
Oh my
So
God, I
it's
think
just,
every-
it just
yeah.
kind of stuck
I
with
don't
me. Like
think-
I'm kind of tongue in cheek, but if I had the money,
Luke knows the extent of your ambition.
I mean,
I don't-
an underground like civilization is like it's like a fantasy.
yeah.
You
Oh
know
no,
what I
just
mean?
a pool.
Just a pool.
Just a pool that you can swim underneath, and it's got like a little cave area that
Yeah.
no one kind of knows about.
I
no one knows about.
I always daydream about living in a post-apocalyptic world.
Have you seen those crazy bunkers that all these rich people, like rich billionaires, are building? They're
No.
building insane bunkers that
Man,
can last.
like I always I always dream about like the world's on it's
like an actual zombie apocalypse.
or whatever the apocalypse is, but,
But how you want-
you're in survival. Like imagine you're like life is like you're in survival mode. Like you're literally just living in the moment every day, fighting for survival.
Yeah.
Like there's some sort of like crazy adrenaline. Of
but
like,
it's a focus, and maybe we'll kind of end on that because I know
we don't
we
don't think about living for survival anymore. That's the way it was back, and that now all we think about is like, you know what I mean? I missed this stock, or I didn't make as much revenue on my business, or this person, pissed me off at hockey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
stupid crap.
Yeah, this is what we talk about. This Andrew and I too is that I would seriously consider trading in all the hustle and bustle, the rat race that
Yeah.
you're talking about. If we had like a piece of land that we'd have to work the land, but we can grow our own food, have our own energy, and just take care of everything. Because every day is just the struggle to make it through to the next day.
Okay,
And
but
like
I
that's
don't want
what
to struggle too much.
well, but it wouldn't. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but like, it's not as struggle as zombie apocalypse, though. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know,
You want-
but
you
know
want-
what
you
I'm
wanna live
saying,
off
though?
the land.
It's that sense of purpose. It's like
Yeah.
I'm doing meaningful work. I have my relationships with my family. I get to come home every day to my great house. I'm not having to worry about money, but maybe I'm working hard. But I'm okay with that.
I'm leaning.
It's
so, yeah.
like I don't know. It sounds good, but maybe in 2 years I get there. But like I'm so sick of farming all the time. Screw this crap.
I would
like,
love if I had this certain amount of like expendable wealth. I would love to develop land, like customize a piece of property of my own. Like that would be my realistic dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of owning real estate, but
Okay,
if there's a certain amount of wealth where I'm like the hardships of owning real estate.
Oh, did my camera die? Why did my camera
I
die?
don't know.
Oh, maybe it's just out of battery. It's probably out of battery. That's
Do
crazy. How's it out of battery? 1 second.
you
one
mean to
second.
do something?
I know we need to go here, but what happened here?
It's got like 10 minutes.
1 second.
It's all good.
No.
But yeah, he has big ambitions, doesn't he?
Has he told you about our 2018 trip?
Oh, is that the one where you guys were kayaking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know about that. So
It's,
that's what I'm
you know
doing.
what I hear this a lot of the times. Like I just had friends. It's kind of the same thing, but they're big. We're gonna go. We went camping on the long weekend, and it was love camping and everything. And then they went there, all this ambitions and everything, and then all of a sudden, they got swarmed by ticks.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but one of the guys, he had 20 ticks on him.
What?
Yeah, and they woke up in the middle of the night, and then they had to get up and then take out their whole tent down. It's like,
Did they
Where
get Lyme
was
disease?
this?
no, I guess they were wood ticks. They were
Yeah,
they
it's
don't
the
did-
it's the deer ticks. I think
deer
that-
ticks. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
They don't carry, but I mean, this is the thing.
I worry about that too.
This is the thing
Tick-
too. It's
terrible.
like there's this level of like, there's this level of like fantasizing about having these things, but do you really want the process?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They say this all the time, like, oh, you want this person's life, but do you want the process that he
Yeah.
had to go through to get it?
Yeah,
you
100%.
want, you know, like as much as like I would, I say, oh man, this person lives out in a ranch. He takes care of these animals and
He's riding the horse
And
or
you always
whatever
look,
in the
look at
sunset.
these pictures. He looks like he's having so much fun.
Yeah.
But there's so much crap you don't
Yeah.
see.
Do you like shoveling shit from the the stable? Like
and
for an hour a day?
that's the thing, right? It's like, like we all want the outcomes, but we don't want the processes. And I think a lot of the times you have to own that. Like, do you want to be a multi-millionaire? Okay, well then you have to go and
Are gonna
you
be
have
willing to work for
you
it.
have to be willing to work for it, or
Yeah.
you have to be willing to risk everything you have to have it. Those are the two things. Like, say you have a little bit of wealth, but you want the ultimate prize. Well, you have to, work and probably risk the wealth you have.
Yeah.
For me, that's not.
Or
that,
for me, risk the health, which is another thing too.
like that's not an option for me. Like, if
Yeah.
I want to go make $10 million and try to like 3x my money, like right fast.
Yeah.
That's for the
That's
for the
highly
risk
risky.
of losing what I have.
Yeah.
No, but I know a lot of people are out there trying to do that.
And you'll risk your health too, even not just physical, mental health too, right? Like imagine the stress of trying to do that.
The thing about
day
it
in,
is
day
like
out.
you look at this.
crazy.
Somebody has 5 million, right? And they made some bad bets, and now their 5 million got cut down to 3. They're not like, whoa, I have 3 million. They're like, I just lost 2 million.
Yeah,
and
that's
you know,
mentally is huge.
mentally, that's the thing. It's like it's all whatever your baseline is, right? And that's the sad thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's because I was this, I had this amount of wealth. But now I only have this amount of wealth, which to like me and you would be like, I'll take it. But to him, it's like, no, because the baseline is now there. And that's the psychological thing of like trying to have a good life is not get caught up in the wealth game. Like, always pursuing wealth at a healthy pace, at a healthy rate is good. But when it starts taking away your peace, that's when it becomes unhealthy. I think that everybody kind of in the beginning kind of has to kind of go down that grind, that hustle, kind of put in those 15-hour
Like
days.
people say, there's seasons of find out all the things that make sense for you of what makes a good life. And maybe you have to push hard on one of them for a little bit, but just don't get carried away, I think, and just going like, I can't go for 3 years doing this and neglecting everything else. Like,
Yeah.
you got to have some kind of moderation.
And I think it's important to
and
know
balance.
when like enough is enough. It's so hard
Yeah, that
because
too.
it's very psychologically turbulent. You know what I mean? Because you're always thinking about, maybe you had a certain amount of wealth and it got cut in half and you're like, ugh, but this is enough, but I can't accept it because I was this wealthy. Or if you reach a certain amount of wealth and, your goal was just a little bit more, right? But getting that little bit more, it's like, it's a real hard squeeze from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's really hard to find that contentment. Cause it's like, for me, like the most important thing is quality of life. You know what I mean? That's what wealth gives. That's what wealth means to me. It's having the quality of life, like, great sleeps, good energy every day. And you know what I mean? And I think next time we can talk about the next pillars, but, meaningful relationships it's a whole conversation on its own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And having somebody to be able to spend all those, those times with, because it's really important.
Yeah.
And I think being able to just own all that and just accept it. And, you know what I mean? There's always room for growth, but 80% of it is already made and already done. Then just be able to just accept it and take it for what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. I think that's a great place to probably end it here for today.
Yeah.
Oh man, such a great conversation. It's really fascinating to try to think about what it is to live a good life. And I think for people listening today, just try to think for you, like what is it that how would you see your life as being a good life? And what do you feel, what pieces of the puzzle would make sense for you? And just try to figure out how you can work towards that in a sustainable way and just piece by piece trying to pick away at that. And I think if you do that, I think there's I have total faith in you that you'll be able to do it, because I think it's a matter of really dedicating the effort and the energy in the right places to get to where we want to be, as opposed to worrying about all the things that we don't have, trying to figure out how to get the things that we can get to. So
yes, like literally, like stay in your lane. You know what I mean? Find your lane. Like know who. Like I think know who you are. Know what you want. Like don't let outside influences. Yeah, I think that's that's the first step. Like I'm somebody who just wants enough money to where I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah.
That's my dream. That's my dream. You know what I mean? I just want enough wealth to where my passive income can cover my lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the dream. And then if you can just. And that's the lane I'm going to stay in. And how do I get to that?
Yeah.
You know what I
and
mean?
some people will be happy with
yeah.
So I was going to say, some people will be happy with just having a job and working at a great job and having money that way. Perfectly fine. And then figure out all the other pieces.
Some people
work.
need to work. Like mentally, like they need the 9 to 5 in their life.
Yeah.
Like I can respect that. I know tons of people, like for me, it's not in my life plan, but a lot of people need that structure every day. You know what I mean? Like whether they like their job or not, but they know that structure is very important to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's a great conversation.
Perfect. All right. So let us know in the comments below what you guys think. What makes a good life for you? I'd love to hear it. And let us know what you think. Rolando, thank you so much for joining today. Appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, and next time... sorry, go ahead, buddy.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think and the next time we will talk about the next 3 pillars. I think we should touch on them because they're so important too, and they deserve their own their own individual conversations, because they're all super
they all get related to whenever we have a conversation. We just end up jumping because it's a lot of it is just interconnected. So
totally.
But yeah. All right. Sounds good. Luke, thanks again. Appreciate it.
All right.
And everyone,
Peace
have
out.
a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome.